Howard Stern Show.
And Mo the bartender was just you doing an impression of Al Pacino, right?
I was doing a play at the time in L.A. I was playing a drug dealer, and I was doing a very bad Pacino, early Pacino, like from Dog Day Afternoon. I'm dying here. Everybody's coming down on me, sir. I don't know what the fuck is going on here. And I did that voice. And
In the play,
and for the audition.
Right.
They said, well, we want it gravelly, because it was based on Red. You guys used to love Red, didn't you?
Yeah, love Red the bartender.
Exactly. It's
right.
based on that.
Yeah.
So Red was like this, right? Red like, you
mutt.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So they wanted it gravelly. I hadn't even heard that at the time. So if you make Pacino gravelly, you'll get Mo the bartender.
Oh, that's how you do it.
Yeah, that's all it was.
Do you think that's your whole approach to acting, that you're just mimicking other people? Is that what you're doing?
It was for a long time. I would imitate people and only feel that I was actually being interesting if I was being somebody else, and I could vocally kind of do that. It took me sort of years to trust that I could just be myself and maybe be interesting.
So when you go in on the Simpsons job, being like 23 years old, and like, okay, you're banging around Hollywood, you have when you read the scripts and stuff, do you have any clue that this thing is going to be huge? Do you have any sense of the bigness of it?
You could never predict that.
Yeah.
But, when you're that age, maybe you still are, but you have your finger on the pulse of the zeitgeist. You just know what's going on comedic. I just could feel it in the atmosphere.
Right.
And I went to some L.A. film festival where they showed the Simpsons shorts, and based on the crowd response to that,
it's
like, whoa, people really, this is striking a chord with folks. And then, there was James L. Brooks standing there, and Sam Simon.
Wait, yeah. When you auditioned, were those guys in the room too?
It was Sam and Matt Groening. Jim wasn't there.
Right.
But I auditioned, Howard, and then it was so casual. They were like, that sounds good. Come record it. I was like, now? They're like, yeah.
In other words, you've got the job.
They didn't say that, I guess. For all I know, maybe they recorded 6 guys that day and then just put in the one they liked best.
Did you only come in for that part, the part of Mo?
At first, yes, just Mo.
Just Mo.
This is an interesting story. I found out years later there was another guy who played Mo.
Yeah.
And I just assumed they weren't happy with what he did. And I asked Matt Groening, I was like, why did you... I meant to ask, for 20 years I meant to ask you, what was wrong with that guy? He's like, nothing. He was great. I'm like, you liked his vocal work? I was like, yeah, he was good. I'm like, well, why did you can him? He's like, oh, he was just a dick.
He was a pain in the ass.
He was a jerk. I guess he was the voice. And this guy has passed away, so I'm speaking ill of the dead now.
Right.
But he...
what was it that he was doing?
He was the voice of G.I. Joe, okay? The cartoon G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
And, back in the early days of the show, Jim Brooks is pretty perfectionistic and obsessive. We did a lot of takes. We just did a lot.
When you do a lot of takes, do you start feeling like you're doing a bad job? Do you think like you're not hitting it?
You do. You get self-conscious and you get a little bored and you don't know what's going on and you wonder why it's happening. I mean, it can be frustrating.
Do they give you notes? Like, do they go, hey, man, like, you got to say this a little quicker or you got to lay you?
Yes. And Sam would direct them all back in those days.
Right.
And I always thought Sam was about to fire me every second.
Wow.
He always made the same face after I would do a take. He'd go like this.
Seemed pissed. Like he was smelling a bad fart in the room.
Totally.
Right.
And so I figured that's it for me. I was only week to week, but every week they'd have me back. But anyway, this guy went off. He's just like, hey, I'm the voice of G.I. Joe, man, okay? I don't need to do take 11, all right? Like, he flipped out.
Fuck you.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, G.I. Joe...
Think about, he's the Pete Best of The Simpsons. Think about what he gave up.
My God.
That's ridiculous.
It just shows you. And what a great gig in the sense that, I mean, as an actor, are you like, oh, this doesn't count because I don't get to be seen on camera? Or are you like, this is fantastic. I get to do a cartoon voice?
Both. Depends on what decade you ask me, but even when I had a contract after a year and a half.
Yeah.
But then, the show grew into what it is, but who could ever see that coming? I mean, even if you think it might be successful, success means what, a decade?
Right. But did it bother you like you'd go to a restaurant or something and no one knows that you're on The Simpsons and that in essence, those cartoon characters, you have to hide behind them? Does it drive you insane in a sense?
Sometimes it used to.
Yeah.
For a while, Mo and Chief Wiggum and Apu had a much bigger career than I did.
Right. Those guys are huge.
Yes. And I couldn't really, I wasn't qualified to hold their jockstrap or whatever.
The Howard Stern Show.